it's Nell, and today I'm going to be repotting 2 different rubber plants. So stick around to see how I do it and the mix I use. So there are many different rubber plants. This mix and this process applies to all of them. This is a variegated one. I have a solid green one. Over there, there's a few varieties of the solid one. There are also pink ones. There's one that has a little bit more red in it. So this applies to them all. Oh, and by the way, this is rubber plant. It also goes by rubber tree, and it goes by FICUS elastica is its fancy botanical name. And as usual, there is a blog post to go along with this video with details in it. I've also done some other posts on FICUS elastica's rubber plants, including the air layering of this plant. It was full to base up and down with leaves. Now it is what we call a standard form or a tree form. I've done that. I've done a propagating one, the air layering one. I've done a care video. So be sure and check those out. The links will be down below and also in the blog post. So rubber plants are really easy plants. They're very hardy. They're very sturdy, but there are a few things that are good to know, and I'm going to go over those first instead of at the end. The first thing I want to tell you is that this has a very extensive root system because in nature they actually get like 80 to 100 feet tall. So the taller they get, the more their roots spread out. And some of the roots actually grow above the ground. I don't know if you've ever seen a rubber plant growing in nature, but it has quite a root system to it. So for that reason, I'm going to be putting it into a much bigger pot. Some plants like to just go up a pot size. You can go up a pot size with this, but if it's growing fast, you might as well just go ahead and put it in a big pot if you have the room for it. I like to stay in scale with the pot too, so it's not like a huge pot, but it gives it plenty of room to grow in. And the second thing is the time of year. Now, early spring and late spring into early summer are the best times for this. I planted the baby. I transplanted the baby of this mother plant, which you'll see soon, at the end of April, and that's the optimum time. I am doing this in mid-October, but it's still very warm in Tucson, and it was very hot over this summer, and I had that rash, so it was really hard to be outside. So I really want to get these done. But if you're in a climate where it's already cold, into fall or winter are not good times. I would not transplant this plant after like the second week in November here. And the third thing is really simple. I watered the plants yesterday in the afternoon really, really well. They were dry. So you never want to plant or transplant a plant or repot a plant that is bone dry because it will be stressed. And another reason why I wanted to transplant these plants is they are pulling away from the pot. And you can see the root ball is pulling away there, so that's why I want to do it. And these are the aerial roots. Those are the ones that spread out on the surface and anchor the plant. I don't need them, so I am going to cut them off, and you can cut them off also, just as long as they're growing above the surface like this. It's breezy today for a change, so at this time of year anyway, so I think you can hear fine because I've got on my wind protector here, so I think that's all great. But as you can see, the pots are a good size, but I want to talk about the soil mix before we get started in on this repotting party. It's a nice rich mix. I'm going to do potting soil, which is actually soilless. Potting soils they are peat-based, so you want a good organic peat-based potting soil. Mine of choice is Fox Farm, Ocean Forest, Something Naturals. It's got a lot of good stuff in it. It's going to be linked in the blog post, so you can see that. And then I'm going to add some cocoa coir chips, and I'm going to add some pumice. These are big chunks of pumice here, and both of these are going to up the ante on the drainage and aeration factor. And then I'm also adding a little bit of cocoa coir, which is the fiber off of a coconut palm. It is a much more environmentally friendly alternative to peat. So I'm going to add a little bit more in, and it comes in a block like this here. I have it down in a pail here. I'll show you. That is the cocoa coir. Resembles peat moss and does the same thing, but because I'm in a very hot climate, it's just going to add a little bit more, shall we say, little bit more water retaining. I don't want it to be too much, so it's only going to be like a few handfuls in each. So if you're in a cooler climate, you can definitely skip that. You can just do potting soil and maybe a little bit of perlite or a little bit of the pumice to furtherly aid the drainage. And the other thing that these plants love, because they do grow outside as big, huge trees, is good drainage. And these pots have nice big drain holes in them. Some of them I need to pull out the plastic. I didn't do that before, but I'm just going to put like a layer of newspaper over each hole, just because the mix-it is going to be loose and it's just going to hold it in while it gets a little bit more, settled in. And then the paper will just disintegrate and the plant will be happy as can be. Oh, this is just a disaster waiting to happen, because not only do I have the microphone cord around my feet, but I also don't have my shoes tied. So if I all of a sudden go down, I promise to get right back up. All right, so I'm going to actually do the rest of the transplanting, or the bulk of the transplanting, on the ground so you can see. But I just have the plant up here. So you can really see the grow pot now as compared to this grow pot size. And I said, that's fine. You can go up, up, up with these. And this isn't going to look too much out of scale, especially with the solid green one. I could have gone a little smaller with this one, but I just decided to go big, from the start. And these grow pots I got at the Greenhouse Mega Store. I couldn't find any 14-inch grow pots, which is what they use in the houseplant trade. And I didn't want to do 15 gallons, so I ordered these with from here to here, not including the handle. It's about 16 inches. And then this height, I think, is about 14 or 15. So good size, plenty of room for this plant to grow. And the other one too. I don't align with any brands, by the way. There are some brands I really like, but I don't do any sponsored posts. Now I am with the Amazon affiliate program because I recommend things I use and I like these. I did not get them on Amazon, but I got these like 25 plus years ago before Amazon. So love my Falcos, and I have an Amazon shop now too. So the link to that will be down below, so you can see the things that I like to use for houseplants, succulents, air plants, all that stuff. Okay, so here are those aerial roots I was talking about, and they are coming right off. I'm not going to cut any that are in the soil, but on the surface, because it's just going to be a pain to transplant with these roots. I have this plant in a basket now, and it's just very awkward in the basket because of these roots. So the ratio I'm going to use is 3/4 of the potting soil, and then the other quarter is going to be comprised of the cocoa chips, the pumice, and probably the least thing for sure will be the cocoa fiber, the cocoa coir. I use in the least amount, but I just want to show you the potting soil here. It has some perlite in it, but it doesn't have enough for me for indoors. So going to add some more in. You can simply order a bag of perlite or pumice, and that will be good for you to add in to yours too. I usually don't film on the ground, but you're going to be able to see a lot better this way. So I want to get a little bit more potting soil. Oh, well, that came out of the pot easy. I love that, you know, if you watch my videos, you think sometimes I struggle to get them out. That was easy. So I need to raise it up about a good 5 inches. So what I'm basically doing is just putting in potting soil at first. Get it raised up a bit more. And now I'm going to put in a good amount, a good bowl full of some more of the pumice and about a bowl of the cocoa coir chips. Then I'm going to get that mixed up all well, and that's just going to help the drainage there towards the bottom. So I added some more of the soil mix in with a little bit more of the perlite just to get it up to snuff. And now I'm going to just gently kind of loosen the roots a bit. Ooh, they do have tough roots. So all set here. Now what I'm going to do, add in a little bit more of the pumice. And with smaller plants, I'll usually mix up my blend in a fairly good sized tub or whatever. But because this plant is so big, I'm doing it as I go along, just because it's going to work out for me. And you can also see how much I use. I'm not using all that much of these other ingredients. And now a little bit of the cocoa coir along here, just because there's peat moss in the mix. It's the same thing. So just gonna blend this up around the side to get it good and mixed in. And then all I'm going to do now is make sure the plant is straight, because I can't tell from here. And I'm going to top it off with potting soil and a little bit more of the pumice. And I would normally put worm compost and compost in here and on the top, but because it's fall, I'm not going to. I'm going to wait until spring for that. So I straightened out the plant, and how I did it in this mix is I just tilted it back a bit and I lightly pressed down just to get it all nice and stable in there. Another thing I wanted to share with you is that when this plant was in the smaller pot, I was watering it every 6 to 9 days. I'm here in Tucson in the desert, very hot, very sunny. And of course, these plants need bright light, so they have to be in a sunny room. So this is going to allow me to water it much less often, which is going to make me a lot happier too, because I have so many houseplants and I have quite a few container plants outdoors. So one less plant to water every week. Almost done with this one. It was a little bit more of a challenge to get this one to stand up in the wind, but it is. And I just wanted to tell you that I used approximately a bag of the soil. They're 1.5 cubic feet in between the two of them. That doesn't, of course, include the one that I repotted in April, but I'm going to have about 1/3 of a bag left, and I went into it with about 1/4 of a bag, so a little more than 1.5 cubic feet of soil. Now to top this one off, I'm going to give these plants a good watering. The Mix was a little bit moist, but whenever you transplant container plants, it's good to give them a good drink, except for cactus and succulents and fleshy succulents. I like those to settle in dry and then give them a good watering. A few days, either 2 to 5 days after planting. So some of this mix is going to settle down, so I might have to top it off with a little bit more because there's a lot in here, but you can see how it's just like, it's just drinking up the water. It's nice and aerated and beautiful, so giving them a good drink. Oops, I'm going to let them settle in overnight. And then I might give them a little bit more water. I'll see. Having this one out in the daylight, I just realized how dirty it is. And I've been meaning to do a houseplant cleaning video for you, so this will be a good plant to use as an example. And I think I'll do that in January because it's a great time to clean your houseplants. Oh, and a little more on the aftercare. I did just give them a good watering, so they should be set for a while. And I'm not exactly quite sure how often I'm going to need to water them now because we're going into like the mid-fall season, so I'll probably water it again in, I would think, about 3 weeks and a little bit less in the winter time. But if you were doing this in spring or summer, just be sure to keep your eye on them because you don't want them to go bone dry. It's a pretty durable plant. It can go like almost a quarter dry because it has those nice thick roots, but you don't want it to completely dry out. So a quick recap on the potting soil mix. You can do like 3/4 potting soil and 1/4 pumice or perlite. That's just fine. I have a garage, so I do a lot of planting, so I have so many materials. So, oh, fly. Yeah, fly in my eyelash. Lost my train of thought. And most of my materials I buy here at EcoGrow in Tucson, but I will link to the same thing or very similar things to Amazon in case you want to order them online. So I hope you have found this video on repotting rubber plants to be helpful. I have a lot more videos coming your way, so stay tuned for those. As always, I thank you for your likes and your subscribes. I really appreciate them. Now let's get into our indoor gardens and make our worlds a more beautiful place. As always, I thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.